This is a description of how to edit the core services table. So from the single service view, there is three kind of main components that are attached to this service. There's the core service table that's accessed via the three dot button here. There are attached sections, and then there are attached offerings. But this video is focused on the core services table that you access by clicking here and then clicking edit. So now you're presented with the form for the service. There's a name, a population, which is only used for town types, an address label, which would be like a suite, STE. There's a street address, or I'm sorry, suite is down here, address label is something else. There is the city name. There is a district, but that is printed only used with sheriffs or districts. County is only used with sheriffs, so many of these fields are only used with specific service types. The state is a required field, so the state must be filled out. There's postal code, but that's only for town types with a general delivery post office. There's the country, which defaults to USA, but can be changed to Canada. And contact info. So this is public contact info. So this will be words that are printed before the phone number in the print service directory, an email address, a label on the email, a website that will show up if this print website button is checked, and then a label for the website. So this is public contact info that we'd want to publish with the service. Now here's more information about the service. If there's seasonal information or hours, like only open 9 to 5, that would go here. And then if this happens to be a POI, there is information about these three POI types. So an index POI for our historic routes, like Route 66. A panel POI would be one that exists on a print map panel. And then a narrative POI would be one that exists within the narratives on a print map. The POI icon can be set, and that is based on Garmin icons that are built into Garmin devices. Post phone print information here. Internal notes, which is not specific to a section, so obviously on the core service table here. And then a host note, which is only internal for us, about the host itself. At the bottom here are tags. So a service can have one or many tags associated with it. All available tags in the database will be printed out here, and they can be chosen as such, and then that service will be tagged with that service and output via the APIs for that tag. Finally, at the bottom is an active checkbox. So if a service goes out of business but we don't necessarily want to delete it, you can uncheck this and then it's not active, so it still exists in the database, but it just won't participate in any of the outputs. At the top, on the right hand side, there is a lat, a long. You can choose if it's an actual location, which is important. If it's a location that you aren't sure of, or one that you actually do want to hide the location, like a cyclist-only camping location or a lodging location, you can uncheck this and give it a different location. You can edit the location by clicking on the map where you want to change it to and clicking update, and then the lat long that you chose will be populated here, and then when you save, it will have the updated location. If you pan away from the service into the ocean, you can click this black button here and it will pan the map back to that lat long. Below this is the internal contact information. So this is contact information about the host that we wouldn't want to publish, but we'd want to keep for ourselves in order to contact that host in the future. And then there are phones. So one or more phones can be attached to a service, and they can be edited here, an extension, a label, and the order in which you want them to go by using these arrows. And then you can also add a phone here. Finally, at the bottom of this shows the offerings and sections attached to this and add buttons, but that can also be accessed from the main services, single services view page. So this is where you edit, and then there is, to save your edits, there's either cancel if you don't want to save your changes, or there's an update button at the top, as well as an update button at the bottom that do the same thing to save your changes.